everyone, Jared with Second Life Design. I've got a shop update video for you. I'm going to start doing these once a month, every other week, kind of as they seem necessary. It's been kind of a crazy last few months. Everything was kind of a whirlwind. I took a long vacation out of the country and had some big jobs I had to finish up before the holidays. It's just been kind of a crazy time. So I had some time off over the holidays, and I just didn't really take on any customer jobs, and I kind of tore down my shop. It's getting better. It's a mess right now, but it's all for the greater good. Kind of my plan for going forward with my workflow is to kind of go more of a European style of work with all my Festool friends back there. Kind of more of a mobile feel, mobile setup. I don't like I'm trying to get away from the dug in feeling, like where I can only work in my shop. And yeah, I want to be able to be a little bit more low impact and not be so dependent on the location, and just kind of like with the tools and my stuff. So that's kind of what I've been working towards, and that's what the last few weeks have been going at. I'm going to be doing some stuff going forward with that. So I'll show you what I'm talking about a little bit, kind of get into what I'm thinking, and just kind of share some other random stuff going on. And as I said, I'm going to do these once a month, every other week, kind of as I see fit. So stick with it. I appreciate all the support. The YouTube has been a great thing. I get a lot of good feedback from everybody, and I'm able to answer a lot of questions with it. It gives me another platform to answer questions. I get a lot of comments on videos, and I do my best to answer everything as much as I can, and I want to keep that going. So I appreciate all the comments. Most of them are positive, so I appreciate that. And if you aren't getting a hold of me on here, try me on Instagram at Second Life Design. That's a little bit easier to get a hold of me. I check that a lot more frequently, so that gives you that option. So we'll go around the shop, show you what I got going on, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, biggest change I'm making for myself is, as I mentioned, I'm going more with a lightweight, stripped down work style. And that's going to include an MFT, the Festool MFT. That's, for anyone that's not aware, that's the gridded style table where it has the 20 millimeter holes every 96 millimeters. And, the Festool one is $700, $750, something like that. And that's kind of just outrageous for a work table. So I'm going to make my own. And a lot of people get their own made using, they'll have them CNC cut, where they'll have the grid cut out with a CNC. I don't have really good access to a CNC, at least on a consistent basis. So I bought this Parf guide system to make my own whenever I want, however I want. There's a lot of videos on this. I will do a separate video on this once I get all my materials in and start making my table. But what this really works on is the Pythagorean theorem. It's a fancy word for the 3-4-5 rule. And it's just incredibly accurate, repeatable, and what I would have paid for 2 tops, I paid for this, and now I own it, and I'm done. So if someone else can borrow it and they can use it, I can make these as long as I want, and I'll have my own setup now. So it was an investment, but it's going to pay off in the long run. So I'm happy to do that and get started with it. I don't know exactly what size I'm going to go with, 3 foot by 5 foot, 3 by 6, somewhere in that realm. I don't want to go big. Again, I want to be able to make this still portable where I can put it in a small truck or something like that. So, the 4 by 8, or I wouldn't, that just seems kind of silly. I don't need that big. So that's the first part of this. Second part, how I'm going to frame all this. I'm sure people have seen this before. This an aluminum extrusion. This is from a company called 80/20, and they make a lot of these extrusions. They're in different sizes. They hold, you can get this is kind of adult erector set, if you think of it that way. You can tap the holes. Let's see if that'll focus. You tap that center hole and put a leveling foot in it. It'll accept a carriage bolt or a T-bolt in any of the sides. It is really light, it's really rigid, it's really strong. It comes in all different configurations. This is the smallest one that's like 1 inch by 1 inch, but they make it where it's 2 wide and all different configurations, all different connectors, everything. So using this with the Parf guide system and a couple other pieces, I'm going to make my own MFT. I'm going to cover this extensively in videos. I think that's really going to help a lot of people. It's something that I've thought about for a long time. It seems something really basic, but it is something I wanted to get it right without having to do a lot of experimentation. So that's my start with that. So that's going Euro. That's the MFT table. Something else, another development this year. I switched table saws. I use my table saw very sparingly anymore. If I use it once a month, that's a lot. I really only use it for long rip cuts. I'm taking like an 8-foot board and ripping it down where it's only a couple inches wide. I picked this saw up from a friend. It is from 1952. It runs very smooth. I got a new switch mounted up on it. I need to get a new belt. Then this project will be done. I got it into my modified base, but I like this power switch. So it's really easy to use, and what's nice when I'm using it, I can bump it with my leg and that'll shut it off. So that's the nice feature of this. You can keep both hands on your workpiece and shut off the saw without taking your hands off that. Just kind of a little bit safer. I use a saw stop every day at work, and that's their big thing, is they have those big switches right there. You just bump it off with your leg. I like that. It's really convenient, so that's what I'm going to go with. I got my vintage bandsaw. I got it up on an old stand, and I have another switch for it. I'm going to wire it up the same way. The bigger machinery like this, I don't use a ton, but I like the old stuff. It works really well. They run really smooth. And so, why buy something new when this one works just fine? Put a little bit of time and effort into it and make it usable again. So this bandsaw is from 1932. It is a Heston and Anderson, and they call it their portable electric bench machine. This thing, no exaggeration, weighs 200 pounds. I can't really pick it up. I had to kind of walk it up to get it on the stand. So calling it portable is kind of a joke, but it works really well. It's really smooth. And it has an incredible resaw capacity. It's a 14-inch saw, but it has like a 12-inch resaw capacity. So that's pretty handy for that. I don't do a ton of resawing, but more capacity is always better. And the last thing I did with my time off is worked on the lumber library some more. So let me pan this around. People followed along. I've got a bunch of lumber stacked up on the wall here, kind of in a vertical orientation, and I filled up this whole wall. I can't go anymore. There's a lot of lumber right here. And I wanted to continue that on this back wall. So I've got all the big single slab oak pieces over there, 3 stacks of walnut right there, and some big pin oak right there. I'm going to be able to get 2 more stacks possibly right here, and then that will be it. So I'll have 2 of my 4 walls will be completely covered up in lumber. And I will have a lot of board feet inside, drying, ready to use. So this has freed up a lot of space and created a lot more usable product. So it's a win-win. I've talked about it a lot. My Instagram, I've talked about it, and it's kind of coming together, and it's really surprising how much space it's freed up in the shop. That's the biggest kind of what I'm happiest about. It's giving me more work room in here. I can't really be efficient because I've got crap everywhere. I'm trying to cut that down, and I'm doing it in such a way that I'm getting more material inside. So it's been a very worthwhile project. It's very heavy moving these. It's a process. Anybody that gets into slab work or has been into it will tell you that it is a lot of heavy lifting, especially if you're doing it on a small scale where you don't have the money or the time, space for big machinery. It is backbreaking work, man. These big pin oak slabs, it's hard to see, but let me see if I can pan up here. These go all the way to the ceiling. So, they're 11 feet long and 2 3/8 thick. So they are real damn heavy. And I got three of them that are full width, where they're 24 inches wide or whatever. So that's a lot to be manhandling by yourself. So it's worthwhile, but it is hard work getting it done. It doesn't seem like it's a lot, but it is. Anybody who moves a lot of these knows how much effort that is. All right, that's my quick and dirty shop update. I'm still working on my YouTube stuff. It's a lot harder than what I thought it would be, and the most common comment I get is that I say a lot. I know I do. I don't like it. I wish I didn't. It is very tough talking to yourself. That's the biggest part that I can't convey to people enough. That I don't like doing the scripted stuff. That's not really my style. I don't have the time to. I still work a full-time job. There, I just did it again. But I've done a lot of public speaking. It's very easy when you have someone to go off of, when you have someone to in the audience you can look at, make eye contact with. You can have more of a connection. But I'm just staring into my phone right now. It's really tough to do. So I appreciate everyone's patience. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to get better, but it is a process. So I appreciate your patience, and I hope I have some good projects coming in the next few months. I have some great ideas for things. Damn it, I can't win. My whole thought with YouTube was trying to get more the things that I was looking for, and that is what I want to convey. I want to pass on to more people. I want to do some videos on laminations, on doing high pressure laminate, and how much of a benefit that can be. I think there's not a lot of content out there on that, and it is a great process that can, you can make an average woodworker look amazing if you can put some laminate down. And yeah, there's a lot of good laminates, a lot of good products and veneers, and there's some really cool ideas I think people could integrate, just kind of thinking about the process. I think a lot of people, that they get the idea that it has to be a solid wood, it has to be a hardwood, or nothing else, and that's not the case. You can make some really nice stuff out of manufactured products, and people aren't going to know any different. So I want to get that kind of stuff out. So any other ideas, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. I appreciate everyone's patience. I'm really going to stop trying to say It's really tough. Just put yourself in my position for a little bit. It is very tough just talking to yourself, staring at yourself in the camera. So I appreciate all the patience, and I hope to not be so rambly with the next one, but no promises. Any other questions, find me on Instagram at Second Life Design, and thank you.